Good evening, everyone. Mazes okay speaking to us. Once more, I come to us today being Friday, the 26th of November, 2021. Exactly 30 more days. Is it 29 more days or thereabouts? Then Christmas will be upon us, I believe. Yeah, exactly 29 more days, then Christmas will be upon us. So the die is cast, and obviously, everyone is getting ready for the end of the year. Now, as usual to this platform, what I would want you to do is go do me a favor. Today is Friday Hangout. I might take calls. Go grab yourself a cup of palm wine if you still have one fermented. If you have a glass of wine, bring it on. If you have water, if you have anything, but just grab yourself something for this evening. Is going to be an interesting evening. Now, once more, my name is Mazes, okay? I am going to be your host this evening. Well, it's getting into morning hours now. It's a late night one. I know many of you joining me will be from the diaspora because many of us here, we don't even have light. Some of us run solar. That's why we can come on. But if not for solar, we will also be in the dark. But you already know where I am. Therefore, you watching me now, irrespective of where you're watching me from, I would kindly want to know where you're watching me from. Let's do that. Tell me where you are watching me from. I have good evening, Mazes Okadati, is Martin Osito Okoye. Okay, so let me take a couple of seconds to bring all of you who have made it to this platform and who's all with a point of duty to watch whenever I do come online to do that. So, where are you watching me from? While you're doing that, I will plead with you kindly like and share this stream or this video, as you may call it. Before we start, I would want to say, there are things happening in Nigeria that sometimes you get confused. The governor of Anambra State, suddenly, we all read yesterday that he is in the watch list of EFCC. Why? You may ask. Now, some people called my attention to something today. Some people are of the opinion that the reason why the governor is being they are trying to do what they do is because those in authorities did not get what they wanted as regards to the outcome of the Anambra State election. And I said, wow, is that it? I do not know, but I do not dwell in the realm of conspiracy theories. But if you know anything else, you could actually tell me what you think. Maybe let's get the comment section busy. Oh, I have Okechukwu watching from Owerri, Imo State, Martin from Onitsha, Modi Obonna from Oklahoma, USA, where they sell Tacoma, everything, coma. Alphonsus Uchichi, watching from the United States. Oh, I said it. I said it is going to be a diaspora evening because many of you will be from the diaspora. And bear in mind, end of the month, it's time to pay tithe. Many of you haven't paid tithe in so many years. Papa Binonya Dot, you're watching from the United States of United Kingdom, I believe. Franklin, Spain. Okay. So people, now let's quickly look at this thing and
So
have
yesterday we reported that the governor of Anambra State, Willie Obiano, was placed on the watch list of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, This, we understand, is coming ahead of the March 16, 2022 change of government in Anambra State. The anti-graft agency wrote to the immigration authorities in the said letter to the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service dated the 15th of November 2021. The commission requested the service to place the governor on watch list and inform it anytime he's traveling out of the country from any of the international airports and other points of entry and exit. The EFCC has not yet stated the reason for placing Governor Obiano on its watch list, but sources within the commission believes the move is an indication that the agency may have been discreetly investigating the governor.
So you have that now. Ask yourself, the governor, I mean, this is, for me, this sounds slightly abnormal. The governor has not left office. EFCC is writing them in advance. However, this letter was written on the 25th. That's about 11 days from today. Yet, the governor traveled out of the state after the letter was written because the governor is still in the United States of America. You don't ask yourself, what is going on here, people? Do you have any idea of what is going on? We may find out. Thank you very much, Modi Obunna. Says he's pay his tithes. Thank you for the super chat. You super sticker, you paid your tithes. I think they say pay to the Caesar what is due to the Caesar, and pay to the and God what it appears the one to the Caesar is big, to the one to your to Onyichie is what is well. At least one bottle of oil. But thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's very good. So, if we come back to that, because I think what Sheun has done here, and that's one of the things I do, and I like it that way, is that when things are not clear enough, get the people involved. If you can't get the person directly involved, if they have PAs or whatever, you get them involved and you see what they have to say. So then, now let's listen to what the Don Adanuba will say.
You now know the position of the EFCC on Governor Willie Obiano. What is the reaction of the Obiano government on this? Let's hear from the government on this matter. I'm being joined by the Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment in Anambra State, Mr. Sidon Adunoba. He joins us virtually from Anambra State. Thank you so much, Sidon, for joining us again. Good to see you. Give us the immediate reaction. We've seen the statement that you released, but let's hear from you. How does the governor receive this statement? We understand that he's presently out of the country. What has he told you?
Well, the governor's response is not different from the response of every Nigerian who had discussed this issue with me. Totally surprising. Nobody invited him to interrogate him or to have his own side of the story. No petition was presented to him. He did not make any comments. And all of a sudden, the EFCC announced rather secretly, that's rather unusual, to use the media as a third party to announce that he is being watched. That's very surprising. There's absolutely no
investigation.
And was the EFCC gave the impression that the governor wants to vote away when he has a whole 4 months to remain in office. It's unimaginable that a governor will abandon his state and the country a whole 4 months to the end of his tenure. That is surprising. It just does not make sense to anyone, simply because the whole exercise is politically motivated.
So when you say it is politically motivated, what do you mean? Because in the statement you released, you were saying that you spoke as though you know those who are behind it. Who are the ones that you were referring to in your statement?
I will repeat who these people are. The very people who did not want the election to hold in Anambra State, and had the audacity to tell the whole nation that the election was not going to hold for security reasons with their clearance with the president. Immediately the president got to know of this plot, he was alarmed and said no. The election was held in Anambra and it must be free and fair. And the election actually became free, fair, and transparent, and the outcome is in sync with the sentiments and expectations of a generality of not only Anambra people, but all Nigerians. Consequently, Soludo's victory became a
nightmare.
national phenomenon, went a long way to restore confidence in the Nigerian possibility. These people have tried everything possible to stop Abga from presenting Soludo and consequently from winning the election. They went as far as going to a customary court in Abuja to obtain summons, criminal summons, on Soludo. They went as far as arranging a kangaroo judgment from Green Kudu High Court in Jigawa State over the chairmanship of Abga and, more importantly, the authentic candidate of Abga in the November 6th gubernatorial election in Anambra State. There is absolutely nothing they have not done to stop him. At the end of the day, the will of the people of Anambra State and indeed the people of Nigeria triumphs. And today, there is a huge atmosphere of optimism in the land. And we are very, very grateful to the people of Anambra State and indeed all Nigerians, including the president, who refused to play to the sentiments of certain officials and members of his party, and in fact, is a government.
You just basically repeated some of the things you said in your statement without being specific, because when you talk about politics, I'm not aware if the EFCC is a member of any political party or an organization attached to a political party. So I'd like you to break it down for us to understand when you said this is politically motivated.
In other ways,
is there any name that you can mention so that we can know exactly what is on the minds of the governor? Is that what the governor told you, that he thinks that this is politically motivated? And who in specific are these people you're talking about? Are they from Anambra State or outside of Anambra State?
No, it's not the governor. It's not the governor who told me so. There are a lot of people right there in the EFCC and in Buhari's administration who do not like what is going on. The EFCC is supervised by the Ministry of Justice and the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation. And that is the reason why you're having all this. I am sorry that it's extremely difficult to hear a favorable judgment about the conduct of the Office of the Attorney General in the last 4 years or thereabouts. It is a pity that even the Nigerian Bar Association has issued a very strong statement on the conduct and professionalism of people in the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation. The Office of the Attorney General of the Federation is actually a sacred mandate. It's a creation of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's not just any other political office. About 2 months ago, I was on this program, and I did tell you that the attempts to impose emergency rule on Anambra State was politically motivated. Events have proved me right. I've been vindicated. It does not actually require the third eye to see all this.
So for many of you who do not understand who he's talking about your Minister of Justice and the Attorney General of the Federation in the person of Malami, SAN. Now, Malami, if you recall, when the issue of killings in Anambra State was at its peak, mooted the idea of declaring a state of emergency in Anambra State. And many of us said that must be insanity. Because, yes, there were insecurity in the state of Anambra State, but those were pockets of security challenges. that is not comparatively to what we have in Kaduna, in Zamfara, in Nasarawa, and some even in Niger State, to now say that you're going to declare a state of emergency. And quickly, if you recall, the governor quickly went to Abuja and extracted a commitment from the president that that is indeed laughable. Now, many months later, actually, you saw how some people were being, people were being used. I saw something flying around. Oh, that Soludo didn't fill his form very well, that they're going to use it to go and remove him. Yes, for some reason, I think for the first time, I would exonerate, like the Commissioner of Information has done, I would exonerate the president. Because the president, in this case, appears to be the man who is actually sticking to the things and the promises he's made regarding the Anambra State. Recall, he said he wasn't going to interfere in the election of Anambra State, that he would want that election to be fair, free, and credible. Yes, he kept to his word. Even when people we know again from the Office of Attorney General, did not, and they did everything possible to say that the election went the other side. You and I, many of you watching me, saw how when we were reviewing the INEC server, we uncovered what happened in Abatete, how from nowhere APC was scoring 1,000 plus and PDP and APCA were scoring less than 5. On this platform, we uncovered it. And thanks goodness that INEC eventually reacted, and that election in those areas were eventually cancelled. Just oppose that, put all these things together, what does that tell you? I may not be a fan of the governor, but again, when these things happen this way, when an injustice appears to be against someone, we all must speak up, because this is, for me, it's a clear case of insanity and madness. Now, while I'm not exonerating the governor, I say, and I repeat, if the governor has done anything wrong, if he has mismanaged Anambra State resources, I am not defending him, and I'm not saying he hasn't, neither am I saying that he has, but if that be the case, please, people, since when do must, or will EFCC, since when did they have to do that? Right? Nigerian borders, immigration, tell them, if you see this name, catch him. Don't allow him go. Since when? Since when? That is absolutely insane. Where is that fairness of, in case, let's, for argument's sake, say he has done something, what happens to you doing your due diligence, nailing him before you start all these nonsense that is ongoing? That I find a little bit irritating.
Well, I mean, what would be the agenda, or what would be the reason? And perhaps if you have evidence to the allegations and the inferences you're making, it would be good to lay them bare. How do you know this position that you have today on this matter?
Very simple, and I'll be categorical. This is the first time in Nigeria's history we've seen the Attorney General of the Federation being a member of a political campaign.
Exactly.
That's never happened. Mr. Abubakar Malami, SAN, was a member of the Andy Uba Gubernatorial Council.
Listen, I mean, he's saying it. No wonder my good friend, my good general, will call him Malamumu. But I'm not going to call him, please. I'm Malami. I didn't call him Malamumu, but my good friend, he's a friend of mine. He calls you Malamumu. Maybe you can go and fight him, but not me.
That is unprecedented in our history. Typically, in a democracy, especially in a presidential democracy, there are certain people who do not get involved in domestic politics. For example, the Secretary of State in the United States of America, and of course, the Attorney General. In the case of Nigeria, the Attorney General is not expected to get involved in politics, even though everybody knows that he's typically a member of the ruling party. As I've said, this is an extraordinary position created by the Constitution and mentioned in name, specifically, categorically by the Constitution. It's not anybody
All right,
that
so
can be allowed.
let me, if I may quickly ask you, has the government of Anambra State seen or noticed that the government of Anambra State is being investigated, or there is some scrutiny from the EFCC, or the governor himself is being scrutinized or is being investigated, or there is a trail on him? Are you aware? Because the EFCC, we understand and we gather that they've been on the governor for some time.
Well, what they have said so far is, you and I believe, absolutely unfortunate. Nobody has come to the governor to ask him to say the side of the story. One of the principles of natural justice is that the other person must hear the other party. Every accused person must be given the opportunity to tell his or her own side of the story. In the case of Anambra State, nothing like that has happened. The governor was not even aware of any petition whatsoever. May I tell you that the governor, Willie Obiano, is enthusiastic. He's looking forward to confront these people, to defend his record, his financial management of the state. Willie Obiano is not only a former banker, he's an accountant, as an auditor. He is willing to explain to the whole world, not just the EFCC, how he was able to deliver a world-class international airport in 15 months without borrowing a kobo from any bank anywhere in the world, able to build the biggest convention center in Africa, 13,000 seating capacity without borrowing a kobo from any bank anywhere in the world, how he was able to develop and deliver the most modern stadium in Nigeria without borrowing a kobo. Everything done in 2 months. Willie Obiano is willing to tell the EFCC why his state is constantly rated by budgets.
But we know that under the law, the Constitution clearly states that Governor Willie Obiano, as we speak, is untouchable. He has immunity, so he cannot stand any criminal trial as a sitting governor. So that may not happen until when he leaves office. But do you think that there's any infraction or anything that is unlawful that the FCC has done? If they're scrutinizing the governor, or they are looking into the books of the state based on the spendings and expenditure or the funds that are going in and out, is there anything wrong in that?
Absolutely, they have the right to investigate. That's not in dispute. We are willing to surrender ourselves, each and every one of us, including my humble self. What is not right is not to investigate them, not to hear from anybody.
So what happened? Okay, if you can still hear me, I think everything is now frozen.
And it go public and it give the impression that the governor is already on the run when he has a whole 4 months to be in office, when he's still enjoying.
Anyway, you know, this is.
May I tell you that the governor Willie Obiano is a.
So people, this is you know, this is it now, that obviously that the governor is willing, but like I said, without sounding like a broken record, what I found really not right is that you are going to be doing this in this manner, whereas this governor is still in office, and it has never happened before, that you have to begin to write letters before a governor finishes office. This is not even like a week before or 2 weeks before. Now you're just writing these letters, just trying to create bad blood to you know, make it appear as if that the man is on the run. But again, that's where I leave it at that. My position is that I do not think that EFCC in this case acted in good faith. I think that EFCC in this case is being used because those who are within the presidency who could not get their way as regards to the Anambra State election are still feeling a little bit sore. And that's why they are acting in that manner that they are acting. I mean, that's, being fair and honest, that is the way I would classify that. Honestly, that is the way I would classify that. So that is on it. Then again, many of you joining me, if you're joining me later, I'm still Nazes, okay? Please, if you may subscribe to this platform, share and like this video. Having said that, I would move to the next one. So finally, a court, a Nigerian court has finally designated the bandits, and now they are called terrorists. I believe, let us wait and see. Many people are already arguing that the president may not allow, and that some people, especially the attorney general, may also fight that. But who cares? The thing is, that should, worry all of us is that it has already happened, that this has, that this is something that is already been done, that a judge, again, declared that the activities of Yam Bindiga and the Yan Tada group, these are groups, so they call them bandits, but they are groups. They say they are similar in the country in terms of terrorism and illegality, that they are supposed to be classified as a terrorist group. A federal high court in Abuja on Friday, that is today, declared that the activities of bandit groups as act of terrorism. The verdict strengthens the call. Remember, many of us have been saying that this needs to happen, that these bandits, because we cannot have people, terrorizing the whole region. I mean, there are videos, many of you will see it. It appears you're watching a movie when you see the way these guys are operating. It appears you're watching a movie, and they are all, just designate them as terrorists because the way and manner they operate is unbelievable. Now, that's the verdict, as I said before, strengthens the position that many of us have taken. And the Mohammed Abubakar, the Director of Public Prosecution, DPP, of the Federation, had filed an ex parte application seeking to proscribe the ghastly activity of bandits who have been waging a relentless war against ordinary Nigerians in the northwest and north central. North central, when we talk about the middle belt. The bandits have been very, very vicious in kidnapping and killing. They are captive across Zamfara, Katsina, Kaduna, Benue, and Sokoto states. Again, it's good that this is actually coming from a DPP. While he was moving that motion, that was yesterday. He says, Mr. Abubakar informed the court that President Muhammadu Buhari had approved the proscription of bandits as terrorists. So from this, we can now see that it appears the president somewhat have listened to what we have been saying since. Because, in one of my videos here, I said it, that if he doesn't do this, if he doesn't take this serious, then he may not and he may never retire in peace. Imagine where he retires and he goes home. With the manner and the level of things happening today, what is going to happen? Where is he going to retire? Where? He may not and he may not retire in peace, because if he tries to retire in peace, then there will be calamity. He may no longer have the level of protections, the level of protection that he enjoys today. He may no longer have that, and it means one thing, that you may see an ex-president tending to his cows in Zaura, in Daura. He might be tending to his cows, and people will come and disappear the president. No one prays for that, but that is a possibility. But the only way you can stop such possibility from becoming a reality is for you to actually actively, intelligently do the needful in order to stop these things from happening. Most of these videos really, really will make you think, what is indeed going on. Most of these videos, when you watch some of these videos, I think we publish some of them, you just hear gunshots, ta 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 ta, and people are running. They just take people. Whoa. I mean, you're like, what on earth is going on? What on earth is going on in this part of the world? When would this, I think this should actually gladden some of us. This should gladden some of us. Alfonso's Uchichi says, Mazes, okay, you should never you never forget this phrase, sounding like a broken record by Femi Adesina when he was running his mouth. Some of you are wicked. Yes, exactly. Because remember, the lying machine of the nation, and Femi Adesina actually at some point said that it's not impossible. And even the lying machine was actually trying to explain why they cannot designate him. At some point, it was sounding like Sheikh Gumi, why they cannot designate them as terrorists. But again, these are people who can confront the Nigerian army. These are people who can do, the Kaduna Abuja Expressway is only now left for the poor. No rich man can ever, even if it takes 100,000, 200,000 to fly from Lagos to Abuja, that is less than an hour or 45 minutes flight, they will do it rather than go on a smooth road. It hurts for people like me that have traversed the various areas in Nigeria to know that these things are no longer things you can do. I remember a time when we could use New Tazan, we leave Opiwe Onitsha, probably headed to Mobi or headed to Yola, that's Jimeta, or probably headed to Medugri, or probably headed to Sokoto, or even sometimes to to Niger State. But today you can no longer, when the time I'm telling you is that the vehicles, the luxurious buses will be loading and they will leave around 4, just targeting to get to Ubola for around 6:37. And they stop, we eat. These are night, and now the proper journey starts. You had New Tazan, you had Ezenwata, you had the young Shagro was Lagos Jibowu axis. That's what they play. But these PNM era, these were the ones that were called north, and they were using Akroka to the point that eventually they started using Marco Polos, those Brazilian Marco Polos, for special trips. I remember the first time of actually plying that route, I used a bus to go in, but then I flew back using the Concorde Air, I think. Concorde Air, that was around 1994, I think. Yeah, should be around 1990, either 93 or 94. That's the first time of using that Concorde then. We landed in Owerri. But here, today, traversing these areas, beautiful sceneries that you see. Oh, people, you go to Zingero, you go to Taraba, you feel like, there are sceneries you see in Taraba. You think if somebody kidnapped you, you think you're in Europe somewhere. I remember traveling from Omahia to Calabar by road. These are things that today I can no longer do. I don't believe. I no longer do such adventurous trip alone. Going to Calabar to go eat bushmeat and drink up wine, because you'll be there. Me and my wine, my palm wine. The man will climb the trees and get these things. But today, bandits everywhere, east, north, south, west, everywhere, because of bad leadership. because of one thing: bad leadership at the state level, at the federal level, at the even the councilor itself, everybody. Bad leadership, south, east, west, nowhere, not even there. They say so, no, nothing. Southwest is the same insecurity everywhere. But these things can nip in the bud. Yes, nobody's saying that these things can be, that everything has to stop in one day. No, but let there be concerted effort and the strategy to getting these things to stop, because it hurts. It hurts. Look at people in Ghana, small Ghana. Well, before you start attacking me that I use the word small Ghana, but people in Ghana, people in Togo, people in Cotonou, these are axes that, we used to travel to. But no longer, not in my life would I ever think I can now, you do the same trip, even if it's during the day, to go from Abuja to Kaduna, or from Kaduna to Kano, Kano to Jos. These are when Peugeot 504 wagon was involved. These are for the VIPs. You struggle to stay in front. Reason why many of us don't stay at back, because they load goods that the back boot will not close because of the excess luggages that they do have. Now, and because once it's open, the smoke comes through the inside, and this is not air conditioned in any way, shape, or form. The smoke comes inside and hits the people sitting at the back. So you struggle to sit in the front, and you are the driver. And sometimes you sit in the front with the escort, because sometimes they go with escort. But now, escort is like baby to them, because they can shoot them at, man. Sometimes I just, it's really heartbreaking, honestly. It's really heartbreaking. But the good news to everybody is at last, because what has been, according to the judge, what is been now instructed is that it should now be published in at least 3 national dailies. So let's see if the strategy will now change. If we can, there is a video I want to show us. I hope there is a video, because when I watch some of these videos, I'm like, we are in deep trouble. Look at this. Before I show you that video, let me quickly listen to what Aisha Yusufu had to say. Aisha Yusufu, where are you? Aisha, okay, yeah. Aisha, come. Now, Aisha Yusufu, in this case, is going to speak to the president, and she will speak to the president in a language that the president understands. Listen to
what
Aisha.
is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? Why is Muhammadu Buhari still the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Are we going to wait until we are all dead before we do something? Dead people cannot talk. Dead people cannot do anything. This is the time to do something. We're sitting down and saying you're afraid. You're afraid to die while they are killing you every day. He's destroying the country for us. He's destroying the country for our children. He's destroying the country for our grandchildren. He's destroying the country for our descendants. And we're sitting down at home doing nothing. You'll be forming, you are a man. You are a woman. You can only sit down inside your room and be talking. You don't want to die. Guess what? The death, they are killing you. They are killing you. See another attack. Abuja Kaduna Expressway, another attack. People have been killed and people have been carried away. Silence everywhere. Northern people, where are you? Where are you? Life no longer matters, right? Where is Secure North? When it is time to do a hashtag against NSAS or any other person's protest, you will come out and remember that the North is not secure. But when people are being killed, you will not know that the North is not secure. It is protest is haram. All of a sudden, Northern life no longer matters. It is no longer a president's life that people are killed because a Northern person is in office. Aso Rock is occupied by a Northerner. Everything is okay. This your hypocrisy. Wallahi tallahi. You're sitting down, you're doing nothing. What is in office? Why should be chased out of He chased out of it, as he chased out of it. They will carry that broom when he enter. They will carry, sweep his leg out. National Assembly, what are you doing? What are you doing? What part of the constitution have you not read that where you can impeach the president? Impeach Buhari, nothing is going to happen. Even the people in the north are sick and tired of him. They want him impeached. Go on the streets and hear the pulse of the people about that person who is president. That heartless human being, that cold and soulless person who is the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Buhari is there watching while people are being killed. All he does is to travel. He just finished traveling, came back. They did ceremony for him to be working and inspecting guard. Nigerians are being killed every day, but all he cares about is to carry soldiers to the southeast. Nnamdi Kanu is his problem. Nnamdi Kanu is his problem. His people are being killed. People are being killed everywhere. It's none of his problem. What are you doing? You are sitting down there, you're doing nothing. You think it's none of your business, right? Those people that were killed on Abuja Kaduna Expressway, they also thought it was none of their business. But guess what? Yesterday's victim.
So now, and Aisha is reacting to the video I talked about. Aisha is visibly angry, like many of us, angry, saying that where on earth is a man who told you that he is a general, that he's going to protect you, that he's going to do this if you give him the chance. Suddenly, that man is nowhere to be found. Now, let me quickly show us the video. One of the videos, not only that video, one of the videos that elicited the reaction from Aisha, because there is no sensible human being after watching that video that will not get angry and begin to demand that, something sensible should actually happen. Now let's watch this clip and you see. Pay attention. Now, this is you see one thing, and this I do this a lot when I travel. Most times, if I drive around within the southeast, I do this a lot because I have a dash mount and I connect my cameras, go online, show people. Now these people were showing this video. They didn't know what they will meet, and that's the thing. So this is not acted. What you're about seeing is not in any way, shape, or form acted. It was a live reaction, recording what they see in front of them. Watch.
Okay. Wait for you.
So now the first stop is they saw a colleague of theirs and they said, wait for him. They picked him up and they continued.
The police there. Hey, look at this.
Did you notice something? When I say this in Nigeria, people want to eat me raw. Do you notice something in this road? I've been complaining about this in the rehabilitated section of Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway. Every time I drive on it, I keep complaining. And the same thing I can see on the Abuja-Kaduna road. No road marking. Why? No road marking. Remember, this is a single lane. Traffic come from right, traffic come from left, yet no single road marking. But again, you might think I'm being picky here. But what doing where. It doesn't matter if it's in the north, if it's in the south, if it's in the east, in the west. Anytime we do something, why can't we do it and we complete it here?
They don't finish. They don't carry these people. Go. Don't wait. Don't wait. They don't carry this. Wait. If you go down now, pass.
Now, this is the second kidnapping scene. You see that? So this can be you and I. Look at that Golf. This is an old Golf. So it's not like it is the elite. This is an old Golf, maybe 1998 or whatever, right? hold, I think this is either Gov 2 or Gov 3.
Down, pass it down.
With a Passat on the left, an old Passat.
Other sound.
Let's go. Go down. No, just come down from bush. Go sit down here.
Imagine for 1 second. I mean, these things makes me sick. Imagine for 1 second. You are watching me now. You are in America. You know, sometimes when I say these things, you know, many of you don't understand what you enjoy. I land, say, for instance, in Maryland, or sometimes, you know, in, let's say, Tampa Bay, or in San Francisco. From the airport, I take a car. It doesn't matter. Even your flight comes in 1 o'clock at night. It doesn't matter. You pick a car from Harvey's preferred partners. You drive. You're sat nav. Nobody stops you. Nothing but here. Look at it. Human beings going for something, and this is the way they are stopped. And taking it to the bush, just like that.
Now people, don't fire. Don't fire here. Don't fire. No fire. This one again.
You see, the bandits are now returning fire. In the middle of this, the security agents, the bandits, are you and I, the civilians, at the middle. You tell me, one thing, when I was watching this, one thing that came to my mind is, listen, because you see that small bushes, right and left, they go in there, they take the individuals they've kidnapped. And I kept asking myself, what on earth are we doing with drones or choppers? Because with a simple helicopter, communicating with the men on ground, you can see them and you take them from the top. I mean, I don't know sometimes if I am the only one about to go mad, because these things doesn't make sense. You are fighting blindly. Even in America, in other places, you see somebody, just that somebody stole a car or somebody is being pursued by the police on highway. You see that helicopter is on the top, monitoring and giving the ground troopers, whoever they are, what is happening. If when the person stops, start running, they will know which house he ran into for the people on ground to go in there. Why can't we apply simple, okay, let's say helicopter is costly. Can we use industrial drone? Can we use drone to take these idiots out? Eh? What manner of a country?
This one again.
But that DSS gun, that gun na patio. You see, as it's your son. No, that one na rap. You can actually do DJ mix up with that sound. Now, if you're watching this, tell me, after watching this, imagine you're part of, you're just going somewhere and you run into this, maybe someone in your vehicle kidnapped and you're there. At that point, you are only praying to be alive, because the gun from the security agents, from the other people, could actually hit anyone. Could hit you. And this is happening in a normal country. I mean, of course, let's not make it seem as if it doesn't happen anywhere. or other places. I saw a video. I think that should be South Africa or thereabout. Proper 6-lane. They stopped a car in the middle of the and within 13 seconds, they've robbed the guy immediately and they zoomed off. But the guy had a top a dash cam and the reverse cam. So that was just there, videoing, that wasn't phone, and they got everything on camera. It means these things do happen. But I bet you that in that case, if that individual had called the police, given them this description of that, the police would have probably come out, because that was a white Mercedes E-Class, white E-Class Mercedes, right? So if I had given them that description, they would have gone, because immediately they zoomed off after they've taken whatever they're taking from that car. Obviously, they were trailing them. But that couldn't have just been like what we saw now, because at the end of the day now, the moment the security men feel like these people have run deeper into the bush, they're not going to go after them. All you see, everybody will just zoom, 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 zoom. That's it. Everybody will just zoom off and go home. This is banditry, and thank goodness these people are now designated as terrorists and should be treated as such, because this is indeed unbelievable. But again, when it comes to leadership, the question is, what is it that people should be looking for in leadership? Okay. Now there is this pastor that basically gave a sound narrative or a sound presentation as to what we should be looking for in leadership.
Ordinary thief and a political thief. Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary, but we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our joy, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
What a shame.
What a travesty. Calls for us to think and think deep. The stage we are in as a country is not a stage where you become an onlooker. You have become an onlooker for too long. You must get ready to put your hands to the plow and be part of the process. It's not just about PVC, carry PVC. You must be in the kitchen where it is being determined. You must be there where the decisions are being made. We are there in our numbers, they cannot outnumber us. But you leave it aloof. Oh, no, it's too dirty. It's a dirty game. And then the dirty guy is getting to the game of play. And you are there not showing up. And when they begin to make the decisions, you will know whether it's a dirty game or not. The result is always dirty on yours. Dirty on your health. Dirty on your business. Dirty on your success and your career. I hope that is stirring up something in you.
So, and I hope it does, actually, because at the end of the day, what we do is by our actions or inactions, we elect and we allow those who are not fit for purpose. I repeat, those who are not fit for purpose. Imagine if we had a thinking people. I cannot sit down here and be projecting for them. These people should be professionals. Tell me, if you're driving from Lagos to the east, I mean, you'll be driving now, you're looking at the next checkpoint because you get there, the next checkpoint will stop you. You go there again, the next one will stop you. And it's going to get worse now. Christmas is coming. But here is this card. We know that not only that they kidnap people, not only that they kill people, lives, children, women are being violated on this road. Why can't you dedicate 3-4 helicopters, 10-15 drones? Can't we apply our intelligence? Why must it be wait until they kidnap? If we have drones basically there, we can see them, we can monitor the movement, know when to take them out. Sometimes I look, don't tell me I watch too much CSI, because this thing it does my head. I'm like, those are the helm of affairs in the security sector. What is then their job? If that's not my sector, but I mean, common sense can apply. What manner of nonsense is this? And these are human beings like you and I. Honestly, I do not bloody care where that is. If it's in the west, if it's in the north, if in the east, we are all humans. Cut me open, the same blood that runs on the person from Kaduna who travels on that road runs in me. If need be that I might need a blood infusion, the same individual that we need to speak up for what is happening to him or her could still save you and I. Because at the end of the day, we are part of the human race. That's what makes us human. It makes us human, for Christ's sake. And those that we have said these people should hold this in trust, whether they selected themselves or now we selected, but they have failed and they have failed. Now, you leave the politicians alone. You come back to the families. The families is the greatest tragedy. That mothers, fathers are no longer interested to know how their children make money. In the next video you're going to watch, you will see a prophecy that the mother agreed the two. Initially I looked at it as how is this possible? A mother knows that the son is an armed robber, does nothing. The son gets money, gives the mother. The mother will go hold in the bank, buys property for the son who is an armed robber. Now, the prophet or whatever, I don't know, pastor, prophet, all of them now sees that this your son will die on so date. The man say, pray now, make God make this, make God not allow him, may they kill you. Now just watch. I mean, it's insane.
Go on to share the grace. Wait. Okay.
Now the pastor, we've tried as much as possible to put a subtitle at the bottom, just because I find, morally, I ask them to do this. I ask the staff to really ensure that they put subtitle to it, because I find this morally reprehensible, that we must learn as parents, because I don't see that children could engage in such thing, and as a parent, and you tolerated it. Just watch.
To share the grace. Wait. Okay. There is money coming. Where's your wife? Is she here? Hello. Hello, Neme for now. What is she doing for now? An accountant.
Oh, yes.
Still putting your eye in business. Accountant good, but Chokwa she may pay business. Big money is coming. I got church.
Okay, sir.
Let me ask you this question. Yes or no?
Now it turns to the mother, says, for those of you who are not Igbo, say, is any of your sons in touch with a gun? That means, does any of your son carry gun? You hear the answer.
And if you don't know, say you don't know.
But yes, sir.
You know.
Yes, sir.
Your son, they carry gun, yes. Is your son a security guard? No.
I got Bobby this week.
You see, your son will be killed this week.
Shake me, confirm, amen, bye-bye. You can't forget to bless your family now. Aqua. Obunama.
He who kills by the sword must surely die by the sword. Now, at this point, you see what I mean? At this point, the woman is now beginning to beg the prophet or the pastor or the whatever, saying, please pray for my son to stop. And I like what the guy did now. Now, pray for my son to drop the gun. That's what he's now begging at this point.
What the thing? I'll drop here on Wednesday. Eh? I would drink. And he may go in Egypt. I can't, okay?
You see, you have some of his money in your account.
I will go to Egypt for him. It will get now. I could Israel also for him. By Wednesday, your son, Ikechuku by name, your son will be dead. Come on, get out.
Now, people, I don't know what you make of this, but when I looked at it, I asked myself, by this small clip, it shows something. The mother is clearly aware what the son is doing. What I cannot say now, I don't know which Wednesday. I got the video. We got the video yesterday. So I don't know whether it's this Wednesday, last Wednesday, or 2 Wednesdays ago, or next week Wednesday. But the thing is, I don't know if it's staged. You know, for some churches now, I hear some people sue some people for arranging miracle, whatever. So a lot of things is just happening. I'm just trying to bring my thinking cap, you know, as they say, so you do all these permutations because you don't actually know what is happening. You don't know, you know, they say all the lizards are lying down. We don't even know the lizard that has stomach ache anymore. But I found it a little bit intriguing, you know, unless he knows the child. But even when he mentioned the name Ikechukwu, I said, wow, this spirit. Please, spirit, give me one expert now. Be what they call them. Make I hammer trillions. Make I hammer trillions. But at the end of the day, or even the spirit can also say, and talk to you, everybody that is watching me that hasn't paid their monthly tithe, to say it's time to pay tithe. But on a serious note, watching that, I thought to myself, now, wow, things they happen for this Nigeria. Things they happen because these things are, the more you look, the less you see. The more you look, the less you see. Well, you know, having said that, people, there is this again conversation with Pa Edwin Clark. Again, I always like to stay at the realm of politics. But many of you who might be wondering, why do you always? Because everything around our lives revolves around politics. Everything around our lives revolves around politics. You know why? Because politics is more about strategy and politics is about policies. And these policies control our life. That you're doing business today, one single policy can make you just from nowhere. You become poor. It can just basically kill you. If you doubt it, remember, especially the people from the southeast, when you had in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, many of them were doing their spare parts business, car business in Julius Berger, blah blah. But when Obasanjo came in, the government eventually had, because you know everybody that got visa goes into Germany, takes a duro in 1 or 2, 4 places and starts sending vehicles. Most of the vehicles are Remputu, you know, those ones, what the Germans would say from Schrottplatz. But because it was cheap, put them in a car and say when they come to Nigeria, Panabitas will repair them and the families will be happy after a car and a car. And why that was going on, but to some point, a single policy stopped whatever was happening. When when Obasanjo administration said that you can no longer import cars that are more than 8 years to Nigeria, and that automatically. And not many people paid attention to what was happening. Again, recall, that was the time of family deliverance and family cleansing. Because they were not paying attention of the consequences of the policy that was done by the government to the lives of their brothers and sisters, what people started saying is that it's family, village people, and many of them started doing family deliverance. Family deliverance that time, you have those the clappers, bam 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 bam. So those ones you charter one bus from them. Then you have the anointers, the ones that come with olive oil or granite oil or whatever oil to anoint and scatter, you know. And eventually it became a business. So as a result of that policy, it created something in the Pentecostal realm that fed an ignoramus section of the country that didn't understand what was happening to them, and they tagged it at their ancestors ignorantly, as if our ancestors are so wicked that there is nothing else they want to do than to keep us in perpetual poverty. But our ignorance is actually what is keeping us in the perpetual poverty. Because if you begin to understand our ancestors, you know that they were wise men who wanted to live at peace with nature. But eventually something came and convolution, everything became, as Chinua Achebe said in his book, things eventually fell apart. So people haven't said that. Hence the reason I always, because I know that politics and policy making is at the helm of whatever that decides our lives, our daily lives. Like the pastor said, a thief can come and take an LCD from you, a television, your wallet, your money, your phone. These are things you can replace if there is something here. But policies can make that you lose your child, you lose your mom, you lose your sister, you lose even your life. Policies, silly policies can make that, you don't even have a future. So this is why we can't stop hammering on it, because it controls our life. And the ones we have currently running it, the lying machines, they're not doing it right. Hence, we must keep knocking them. Having said that, there is something, Edwin, because again, it's not about talking. Solution. And my solution is very simple. Nigeria must be restructured in regional, in a regional format for peace and equity, tranquility, whatever it to reign. If you don't want to do that, then we should begin a process of disengagement, to your tent, O Israel. Hence, I agree with what Pa Edwin Clark said in this. On this platform, if you've been following me, I have asked several times. I no longer demand for the president and the APC as a party to implement the 2014 confab report. No, I no longer seek and ask for that. By the way, someone did it. There were some executive orders he could have used, but again, he was hoping to win an election. Sadly, the election wasn't won, and everything now is in the dustbin. Again, having said that, what I am now advocating for is not when I interview Tanko Yakasai on this platform. He says, Mazi, what do you mean by restructuring? We don't know what you people mean by restructuring. Now, APC, the lying machines, you no longer know what in fact, we don't even know what we want again. What we are now saying, the one you now agree, the one you have done yourself with the Aerofied under ex-Governor Yegun, the former APC chairman, the restructuring document you produced, your own, not our own, please kindly do the needful. That is where I now stand. Let's listen. Let's have a listen.
Until somebody comes to stop me. But if nobody stops me, I will continue to talk until God calls me home. But sometimes I've been thinking, problems everywhere in Nigeria, and the government pretends as if nothing is happening in this country. They move around the whole world, 16 days, 21 days, and Nigerians are dying every day. One man dies in America means a lot to the entire Americans. But in Nigeria, 100 people will die. Nobody cares. So I said, if restructuring has now become the problem of this country, and majority of people say restructuring, restructure this country. Buhari himself said, under Executive Order 10, that the judiciary, the local government, or House of Assembly should have independence. What is he talking about? Cannot eat his cake and have it. These are things contained in the El-Rufai's report and the 2014 report. I warned, I've stated, I repeat, President Buhari is not an emperor. He's not a king. He's an elected president of this country. You either govern the people or you tell them that enough is enough. For one reason or the other. And that is the purpose of my... Because 2014 National Conference, of which I was a prominent member, and the El-Rufai's report of 2018 are almost the same. Whichever one you take, Nigeria will be happy with it now. What Nigeria wants, restructuring. Either Rufai or Kutigi or 2014. Thank you. Both the former chairman of APC, His Excellency John Oyegu, and El-Rufai himself. El-Rufai was blaming the National Assembly because they have the power to make law. They have the power to constitute a constitution. It has not been taken to them. If the government in power in 2015 says that in our manifesto, restructuring of Nigeria for a better Nigeria is number one, and you came to power in 2015, now we are in 2021, only 2 years more ago. We're talking about your constitution. So your party said, look, let us put it in writing. It was in our manifesto. Let us have a committee to examine this issue of restructuring. And the party did it. What are they waiting for? Are they waiting for PDP to come into power before executing their own report? So your question is, if all Nigerians, as I said, I'm speaking on behalf of the majority of Nigerians, if we all agree, a meeting called by Mr. President to Aso Rock, of representative of Nigeria, will not last more than 1 day. The executive will then prepare memorandum to the National Assembly, and within 3 or 4 months, they will be completed. The National Assembly has been spending 1 billion naira every year on amending the Constitution of Nigeria.
Oh God, they are not amending anything. It's an easy way of chopping money. You see, when we have men, oh no, Nigeria, When we have people who are not interested in governance, and again, make no mistake, many of you who write in the comment section, blaming Fulani, 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 they fool everywhere. In the southeast, we have it in Abia State. They fool everywhere. Everywhere. What we are saying is that a competent, be it in my state, your state, we must demand that they vamoose. They fool everywhere, not only one people. They fool everywhere. Somebody here is asking me, Mazi, why, what of Abia State that promised to give 500 naira? Listen, again, if you've been following me for long, I am an advocate of we need to start giving incentive for childbirth. Free maternity, free childbirth, incentive in order to register birth. And I've advocated here that this money cannot be handed cash. What it means, the only way you can begin to document is that you get the father, you get the mother, they open an account in the child's name. You pay minimum of 10,000 into the child's account. Then they can go to the bank and withdraw. By so doing, you have and you capture the data of the mother, you capture the data of the father, and you capture the data of the child born. But in this video, the governor of Abia State misfired. I will put it that way. Let me be so kind to him. Put it that he misfired here. Just have a listen.
You say that when pregnant women give birth in your facilities, they get 500 naira. Is that correct?
500 naira, yes. Yes, and the backpack.
What is the 500 naira for, sir?
Free delivery, they give you 500 naira to what? It could be for anything. Are you asking a poor woman what she will do with 500 naira?
For
people don't have it. Yes.
Well, I'm just trying to put it in.
Mokbe, I think Mokbe was first shocked that, at this point here, look at Mokbe's reaction here. I think that was priceless. Look.
And the backpack.
What is the 500 naira for, sir?
Free delivery, they give you 500 naira to what? It could be for anything. Are you asking a poor woman what she will do with 500 naira? Some people don't have it. Yes.
Well, I'm just.
For a while, Mope was like, I'm a mother. Where am I? Am I in this world? What's this man talking about? 500 naira. 500 naira. Una no get shame. 500 in naira. Mr. Governor of Abia State, strategically, I agree with you. Free delivery, I agree with you, and I applaud that. I don't take that for granted, please. I don't. No, in any way, shape, or form. 2, I agree with you for the whatever pack. But Oga, 500 naira. Why don't we, in a budget in Abia State or in other states, in a month, how much are our children? Because we're not even considering these people. If your wife wants to give birth and she flies into America, how much is she going to pay the ticket and all the things? And you say, man. And okay, look at the same state here. We're in a state where people live like pigs. And they will tell me, they sent me the video, the photo the other day. Mazi, you see, you don't care about Aba. Everywhere we finish all the roads. I say, okay, this road that I'm about to show you.
This is Aba, Abia State, Fox Road.
I must, as long as the Southeast is concerned, all of us must join in tormenting them. We must keep tormenting them, tormentor of bad governance. That's it. That's all. That's the only job. As long as you believe that you cannot be bribed, you can't be paid, like myself. Bring it on. Let's join. How can human beings, tell me please, how can human These are children going to school. Look at it. Children. Imagine you watching me now. Can your son, because these children will remove their shoes. These are in the 70s. This is the way we suffered. Now, this is the way these children are suffering 30-something years later. Come on. And we blame Nigeria. We blame Abuja, whereas the problem is home. If you see what is happening in the Southwest, I think there is one video I saw of roads. You think, come on now. This is the same region where the late sage Awolowo, Bola Egedem came from. Look at Aba. This is Aba. People, this is Aba. And somebody wants me to keep quiet. That Fulani is Fulani is not my problem. This is my problem. Whoever is in charge of this place and ought to fix this place, that person is my problem, for Christ's sake. And that's what we must begin to think of, how we get it right. And I say, greater autonomy to manage, but even when you demand greater autonomy to manage your resources, we must begin to keep cucumbers and carrots out of the barn. We must begin to, those who have nothing, absolutely nothing to offer. While I knock Buhari that 7 years is gone now, I cannot see anything that he has visibly done. Yes, of course, I must look again the governors in my neck of wood and say, Oga, like Buhari, 7 years is here, fast approaching. I don't see what you do. Other states, in my estimation, and I've kept saying it, and I must say it to whoever cares to listen, the three governors that has governed Abia State is what I call worse, worser, worsest. You catch that? This is not, this is, no, there is no need to, I give up. Listen, honestly, I give up. I give up on people. Solution remains. Nigerians must come together to talk. While we are talking, we must also demand that those we have ceded our rights to govern us, that they must also act in good faith to represent you and I. Because in the absence that they are doing that, there is no hope. Many of you are watching me. How many people are watching me? Yet there is no one of you can just click the like button, please, people. Okay, you want me to go to Zaza room now? Okay, I can go to bed. If you don't want to click the like button, I can go to bed. Yeah. No offering, no like button, no waiting. Ona go na Sabbath una dey go. Abi na waiting. Eh? Or you're not happiness more. I am happiness more if you think, as I tell you now. Anyway, because the way you're doing now, I can go to Australia. Honestly, I can go to Australia.
You will not be in Nigeria. This is your dream.
Amen.
I saw you want to enter Australia.
Australia, yes, sir.
Australia.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Oh, Bodom. You want to enter Australia?
Yes, sir.
Australia is an Australia. They are the same. Sonyata. Australia and Australia, all of you. All area. Australia and Australia.
Said all of them na area. So all of them are politicians. Whether they are misgoverning Zamfara, whether they are misgoverning Ekiti, whether they are misgoverning Abia, or they are misgoverning Adamawa, all of them are the same thing. Now area. Osta, or whether no Ostara, Osta, whether no Ostara ready. Papa Vino, Papa Vino, Dots, thank you very much for the super chat. This is whether no Ostara ready, Vina, Osta, whatever it is.
I have so many power. Le Baduse play Lamante. I have a bit of shaker. I have never touched those ones. I have the.
So the one you haven't touched, please leave it, because I don't get it. I don't.
You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about it.
Okay, I agree. I'll forget about. I'll forget about it because this is that is happening in Nigeria now is just making us that every one of us feels like Mumu. That in the words of Asari Joko, but it makes us feel like, man, we are 17.
How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you? Now they never leave you. They have left you behind. Photo, not be juju be that. Sorry, oh. May God not allow them, make them kill you. 70 years old man. I am Mumu, I too much. You be Mumu. You think say they wise. You are a Mumu man.
Dirty, I guess I'm. Wapa, I hope you know that he's talking to your uncle. He was talking to Charlie Boy. He said, you're a Mumu man. Dirty, I guess. Oh, dear people. Oh, I can't. I can't. Honestly, Nigerian problem sometimes there is nothing much you can do. What on earth? How do you think you can make progress? I think, listen, people, when we say the only solution is to divide it, I think we make it, we make complex solution very, simplistic. Very simplistic. I think what personally, a better approach to this is where people come together in a round table, then we agree if it's going to be an exit. It should be, respectfully, everyone would agree on a way forward. And worst case scenario, if it doesn't happen under Buhari's government, because the tension is so high, and the man appears not to understand the deep-rooted division he has caused within Nigeria and amongst its people. Yes, there were divisions before, but I think in the last 7 years, it has gone deeper, that all Nigerians do, in most cases, is to blame a region. The North will keep blaming the South will be blaming the North, or sometimes even narrow it down to a micro region within a certain region. But personally, to me, I think that is not the issue. What I see is greater, and what I see is deeper than just saying it's Fulani, it's Hausa, it's Igbo, it's Yoruba, it's Efik, no. I see a clear case of incompetence, and that's what makes us to be, because when you have nothing to offer, in the words of Wike, you will say, if you didn't dare, you didn't
If you don't know what to do with your head, you don't know what to do with your head. If you didn't dare, you didn't dare. You didn't dare.
So just like he said it, if you didn't dare, if nothing didn't dare here, nothing didn't dare here. So in that case, because I believe it is the promotion of mediocrity. That's why we will have people driving an aeroplane at their age. They just basically tell you, and in bold face, they tell you aeroplane driving, if you're driving an aeroplane, blah, blah, yati, yati, yati. And again, that's why we have something like this happening, where people who are incompetent, cognitive-wise, intellectually wise, even in basic human understanding, when they govern and when they rule and when they stay in certain areas, rather than to apply competence. We apply just pure mediocrity. Honestly. You see, that is it. Exactly something like this is when you have round holes and you're trying to put square pegs. It's not going to work. You know, it's just like Lego. If the building blocks are not there, why is it that many of you watching me now, why is it that you became aware of what is happening in the last, let's say, 6 years? Why? Why is it that before 2014 you weren't aware of the things you know today? Again, but that is the same thing. Nothing really has changed that deeper, except that we have a different driver or a different pilot piloting the affairs. That now, that's why everybody, the driver self doesn't know how to slow down when he gets into a pothole. Everything Madame Gurugu. That's why everybody's knocking. Even plane, they get turbulence as well. That's why we are in the mess that we are. On that note, people, I would say, with this grammar of our colleague here, I would say we are all happiness more, and let him tell us what he has to say. And on that note, I would say thank you very much for being part of this program. I do not want to overstretch it, but it's my pleasure to have you. Tomorrow we will have our street parliament. Our street parliament will offer you the opportunity to call in and we have this discussion. Thank you and God bless. Good morning, good night, good evening. I'm still Mazes Okin. Bye for now.
Before I go on, let me postulate from the Franz Fanonian dictum, which stipulates that the dialectics of reconciling two conflicting ideas is the algebra of revolution. The overbearing intervention of the state government had further exacerbated oporombium and amounting to sadomasochisms. Acrimony and chaos in our community. It was a contumelious stratagem by political jobbers to siphon monies. We suffer what we call political axivia neonantorum. Conclusively, we are a microcosm of the issues in the Niger Delta in the macrocosm.